Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and I am coming to you straight from the Devil's Armpit. Is it just so miserably hot? It is so hot. It's just brutal. I'm sitting out here. It's relatively late, and I pushed it as long as I could. I waited for the sun to go down and everything else, and my God, it's just so freaking hot. So I don't know. They say it's supposed to break in the next few days, but it's going to get to like 89 instead of 98, which, I mean, I guess that matters, but, oh, God, it's been horrible. Anyway, enough of the weather bitching. So today, thanks to all of you who called in, we can do another Ask the Pulpit. And so I'm going to get to your listener calls, questions, comments, concerns, whatever you have on your mind that you called in about. I'm looking forward to these. These are always great for me for when I need to do a solo show, but I want somebody to talk to. And so this works out really, really well. But today I'm going to be smoking a new cigar to me. I threatened at one point to smoke this on the show. Didn't get around to it, and I figured, you know what, why not? Let's do this today. So today we're going to be smoking a selection from Blackbird Cigars. We're going to be smoking the Cactus Wren Short Run. It was a limited edition cigar. This is a 6x52 Toro featuring a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Cuban seed Dominican binder, and a blend of Corojo, Criollo 98, and Olor fillers. Apparently it has notes of dark chocolate, espresso, and a hint of spice. From our friends over there at Blackbird Cigars. And so I'm looking forward to this. This is one I've never tried before, and I'm going to get to try a new cigar with all of you. So this will be fun. But it's time to cut and light the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's 2guyscigars.com. The number, got to remember, it's the number 2 Guys Cigars. This is what I get when I start, going too fast, and I'm not paying attention. So it's the number 2. So when you go to the URL, little browser thing on your phone or your computer, put the number 2, like the actual digit 2, guyscigars.com. 2 Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows 2 Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family-owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I actually just placed an order with 2 Guys just this very evening. I ordered myself a box of this one type of JFR Lunatic that I discovered over at the Hill in St. Louis, and I really enjoyed it. Smoked one of those, and I was like, I want more of these. And so I was able to get a box of those on 2guyscigars.com. And then I also, while just searching around and looking at a few things, happened to stumble across one of my go-to favorite driving cigars and just kind of everyday smokes, and that would be the Charter Oak Habano. And so I ordered a box of those as well. Super reasonable on the Charter Oak Habano. I need to do a rematch of the Battle of the Budgets, up the price point slightly, and that Charter Oak's going to have to get in on the mix. We're going to have some fights amongst some, maybe I'm thinking in the $7 to $8 range, maybe put it maybe $6 to $8. That sounds like a good fighting range for a rematch of the Battle of the Budgets. But guys, as it pertains to right now, head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Make sure you tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you, and remember, that's the number 2 guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. I'm a little wacky, out of sorts tonight. I don't know if you can tell. It's just one of those things that I'm just like, I'm just going to roll with this. And we're going to see where this goes. Because I'm tired. And I'm very, very hot. And I've got a hell of a day going tomorrow. Getting a new roof. All kinds of shit. So it's going to be a busy day here tomorrow. And so I'm having to do this now so that I can, make sure I get the episode in on time. doing a cold draw. And I might need to do, I did a straight cut, but I might need to follow up. Yeah, follow up with a V-cut. Really get that thing in there and open it up. Okay. There we go. So it's got like a little cocoa, not chocolate, but like cocoa in that, like baker's chocolate. The bitter kind of, I'm not saying it's bitter. I guess I should say like non-sweetened chocolate, I guess would basically be a better description of that. But it's got kind of that component going on the cold draw of the Cactus Wren, the Blackbird Cactus Wren. Why don't we now go ahead and hear the greatest commercial you've ever heard while I light this cigar.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah, all right there. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my wiener!
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed. It's time for another Ask the Pulpit. And I'm so thankful that people take time to call in and take part in this because it's always fun. And I look forward to it. I look forward to these episodes. I think they're fun. I think they're sometimes enlightening. Sometimes they spawn off other episodes like we did with my dad about retirement. That was a question from Dennis. And apparently based off the limited feedback I've gotten on that just in the short period of time it's been out, you guys really enjoyed that episode, or at least it was very helpful for some of you and kind of enlightening for others. So that's good. I appreciate that. Keep the feedback coming. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the first call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Andrew from Ferguson.
What up,
dude? I was just wondering if you had ever gotten around to smoking that CO, I think it was a second third that I gave you, that I handed to you about 3 years ago at PulpitFest when I was still in Southern Illinois. But yeah, just wondering. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Andrew, I have not gotten around to that. And, I think that sounds like something that maybe we should do sometime. So let's, hit me up, shoot me a message maybe through Facebook or Instagram. I don't know if you're on either one of those, and let's make this happen. Let's figure that out. Let's make it happen. I'm positive it's in one of my humidors inside there. I will find it, and we will do that, and it will be a good time. So hit me up on that. So next. Always nice to hear from someone local. Makes me think that actually somebody around here gives a shit. Next up, let's go ahead and do another call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Dennis calling.
What up, Dennis?
Not in the hinterlands of Western Canada this morning. I'm in the hinterlands of Iceland.
Oh, my God.
Having my first smoke of the trip. I'm happy to report. Just out watching the waves come in. And I don't know if you knew, but Reykjavik, the city capital of Iceland, means Smoky Bay. So this is kind of appropriate. I'm having a nice smoke, watching the birds sing, and waves come in.
There you
Take
go.
her easy, buddy. Stay smoky.
You know, Dennis, that sounds like a wonderful experience. And, you know, I can't say as I've ever been to Iceland. It sounds nice. I would like to have a cigar in Smoky Bay. I think that would be a wonderful time. You know, so I just renewed my passport this year. I finally got my passport renewed. I got it back already. So, you know, I'm good. I am good to travel. I can go places if I wish. You know, I have been deemed worthy to travel outside of the borders of the United States. And you know, I don't fear international incident now that I would be, you know, traveling solo, or at least without a former co-host that I'm 100% convinced would have gotten me thrown into like a prison somewhere. But you know, I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, in terms of travel, where do I want to go, and that sort of thing. And you know, if you guys haven't listened to it, I did an episode with Trey Mack kind of near the beginning of the year. I think it was around the beginning of the year, where we recapped his trip to Ireland. And I'm not going to lie, that's tempting as hell. That sounds so nice. And price-wise on that, I mean, I think he told me that he only spent maybe $2,000 total, you know, with the trip. He's like, you can live like a king for a week in Ireland for $2,000. And that sounds really nice. It sounds pleasant. It sounds like it's a wonderful little country. It sounds like all the people were super pleasant and everything. And there's something really appealing. And I'm not even a drinker, but it sounds really appealing to go and have a beverage, a drink, in a 900-year-old pub. That just sounds so fun and just kind of amazing at the same time, you know? So, I don't know. It's possible. I'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my schedule can be very weird between the newspaper and everything else. It's like, it's hard to plan long trips like that, but I wouldn't lie. That would be one place. It's on near the top of my bucket list travel places. That and Scotland, and boy, those little huts on the gorgeous blue water in Bora Bora. If you guys haven't Googled that, the little huts on the water in Bora Bora, I just want to get one of those. And I mean, I don't even need to leave. I'll just stay in the hut the whole time. It's got a pool. It's got the ocean with the clear blue water and everything. If I have enough cigars and enough good food and everything for like a week, I can just stay there and I will be perfectly happy. I won't even bring any other clothes except for my swim trunks, because I will just basically always be in the pool, in the ocean, or lounging around the house naked. I mean, one way or the other. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. However, Bora Bora is like on the other side of the freaking planet, and renting one of those huts for like a week is probably a little outside of my price range. Just guessing. I know, and before anybody comes at me, I do know that they have those same huts over the ocean in Jamaica. It's not the same, and I don't want to go to Jamaica. It's just one of those things. I would prefer to go to Bora Bora if I were to do it. So, there we go. Well, Dennis, I hope you enjoyed your cigar in Iceland there, and I hope everything is going well if you are back in the frozen hinterlands of Canada. Next call here.
Hey there, Nick.
What's going on?
No question. I just had some comments on this last episode I listened to. First off, let me just say congratulations on the weight loss, brother. Great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
As far as the different types of people in the lounge, you mentioned the guy who hovers in a humidor. I mean, I don't really see a problem with that, because a lot of times what it is people on a budget who are looking over cigars that they wish they could afford, right? It's just kind of window shopping. Not much different than, the people who look at the accessories that are $200-300 they know they can't afford, but one day maybe want to. And then as far as open up those budget cigars, the $2 and $3 sticks, everybody has their own price. Everybody, one of the best things about cigars is that they're for everybody.
This is true.
And you don't have to be super wealthy to enjoy them. I do understand the cost loss from somebody who buys $2 cigar and sits in the lounge for 2 hours. That's not very advantageous. However, those people, when they can afford it, are also going to be the people that grab a $15 stick and sit in the lounge. Or maybe when they get some extra money, they'll buy a couple extra cigars, smoke that $2 in there, and then take the more expensive ones home. But it keeps people in there and helps create that social atmosphere, which is great for keeping a lounge alive, especially in times where people don't have a lot of money.
100% accurate.
Lastly, as far as the collector goes, I think I kind of fall into this one. Inadvertently, though. I mean, I do buy a lot of cigars. I have somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 in my humidor. I've lost count a long time ago. And I can't possibly smoke as much as what I have. Some of it is aging. I do like to age a lot of cigars, especially the rare ones. The other one is I'll buy them when I have the opportunity, and then I wait for a special occasion to smoke them, and then it's a matter of finding enough special occasions to get through them. So that's another big part of it. You just can't always get through it, but I do get labeled as a collector when the real problem is I just can't smoke enough of them. And lastly, the reason I have so many is because when I want something, I want it. I don't want to have to wait for it to come back out again next year. I don't want to have to wait for my shop to open up to go get more. It's just a matter of having what I want when I want it. And I don't know that I like to do so.
Oh.
It's a good work. Sorry I haven't stayed in touch. Have a good one.
Well, I appreciate the call. You didn't leave your name, and so I'll be honest, I don't know who to thank. So give me a call back. Follow up on this, and let me know who I'm talking to, because I'll be honest, I'm blanking. But that was a very thoughtful, well thought out response. And let me see if I can bring up the transcription so that I can properly address this call. So I appreciate the I mean, look, man, the weight loss thing, it's like sometimes you go to the doctor and you get a conversation that you knew was coming, but maybe that conversation took a little bit darker of a turn than what you expected. And at that point, it's a matter of like, okay, what are you going to... Look, when a dude sits across from you and says you can continue what you're doing as you wish, but you probably are not going to hit 60, or you can make these changes now and just, live another 50 years. Yeah, you know what? You make the changes. And especially when you got a kid and it's a kid that needs you to be around forever, for at least as long as you can be. And so, that's what it's been about. I won't lie. Going to the gym sucks. I hate it. I think I'm allergic to exercise, but I'm dealing with it. I will say too, I've been doing it over the course of this month, not every day, or at least not even to the schedule that I wanted. I know you got to build in rest days and everything like that, but not even the schedule that I wanted, because I've had my son so much this month, and I go at night. I'm not a morning person at all. I don't wake up early. I'm not a morning person. And so I go at night, and I love it there at night because there's like nobody there. But to my point, I go at night, and I haven't gone as much, but I will say that I have to admit I am feeling better. The knees don't creak and hurt quite as bad when I'm getting up out of chairs. I'm not making the old man groan every single time I have to stand up. It has been better. Food wise, look, there's days that are easy and days that are hard. Some days it's no big deal. Today was a rough day, and it wasn't because I ate poorly. It was I was doing my deliveries all over the place, so I'm driving all over the place. And it normally would have been a day that lunch would have come in a brown paper bag, handed out one window into my car window, and that would have been that. But I didn't do it. I didn't go to no fast food. I didn't do any of that kind of shit. And, I'm obviously having to watch my sugar and my carb intake. And, so I didn't do it. And so unfortunately, I went a little long, before getting something to eat. But it was fine. I dealt with it. It's not like it was the end of the world. It's working out fine. It's been surprisingly easier to ease into this than I thought. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Now, next up, you were talking about cigar lounge people. First of all, you were talking about the guy who hovers in the humidor. I don't necessarily have I don't remember what I said in the thing. But no, I don't particularly have a problem with someone who just hangs out. My problem there would be if they hang out and never buy anything, then that would be an issue. But if they're looking around, maybe building a mental shopping list. I mean, shit, everybody's done that, not necessarily even at the cigar lounge. I mean, I go window shopping at stores and looking around. I go to the bookstore all the flipping time. Do I buy something every time? No, I don't buy something every time, but I go. So, no, I don't have a problem necessarily with the window shopper. For the guys, the budget bundle guys, look, I think maybe our wires got crossed there. Yes, I have no problem with a person who can only afford the quorums, for example. A cheap bundle cigar. I think what maybe we were talking about was shops that open up those bundles and sell them by the single. That would be the only thing. I know one shop that does that. And every other shop owner basically is like, I don't want to do that because then at that point, people will only smoke that and, making the money on other cigars. I don't necessarily know if I completely buy that argument. I do think, to your point, that there are people that's what they can afford, and there are people that, will do it to supplement their purchasing. And I think there's plenty of people who are going to come in, see that, keep walking, and not purchase the cheap one and buy what they want. So yes, I 100% agree that there's a cigar for everybody, and we need to encourage that. So I think that's fine. In terms of what else? Lastly, you were a collector. So I'm in the same boat, man. I buy, stuff. I receive stuff. I'm in, a Cigar of the Month club. That's right. It builds up. It builds up over time. Look, and so I inadvertently age stuff. I have some cigars in there that I know I purchased in 2019 that I'm still sitting on, and they're fine. They've just been aged that much extra. But I have a lot of cigars, and it's not that I mean to collect them as much as it just happens. Now, I think maybe with that, it also comes down to what is the purpose of the collection? Are you doing it because you're just bringing in more product than you're able to consume? Yes. There it goes. I'm like, did I lose it? I think I lost it. Gonna have to relight the cigar. But I don't think that's necessarily what maybe it meant by collector, or at least maybe not my personal thought about what a collector is. I think, when you're talking collector, maybe it's somebody that says, oh, there's only so many of these cigars available in the world, and I need to have one and sit on it forever. Or maybe somebody who buys JFK's humidor in an auction, just so they can say, oh, I've got John F. Kennedy's, humidor with all of his cigars in it, or whatever. I guess there's different levels of collecting. And I can relate it back to comic books because I'm a comic book guy. I buy comic books, and, don't get me wrong, I have way too many of them, and I need to pare it down. But, I buy books, and I read them. I'm a reader. I have some books that, if they were in perfect grade, would be worth some really decent money. But I have what I call reader copies because when I bought them, I didn't buy the perfect grade. I bought a grade that was more affordable in my price range, and one that I didn't mind taking out of the Mylar and flipping through the pages and looking at it and consuming it as it was meant to be, It was meant to be read. There are guys that slab their shit in plastic and have them graded, and that's how they enjoy their comics, which more power to them. We're different collectors. In this case, I think what you're describing is one type of collector of cigars. I think there's another type of collector of cigars where they're pursuing, the pre-embargo Cubans just so they can stick them in a drawer in their humidor and be able to say, I have some pre-embargo Cubans, that kind of thing. Something like that. And as for your last part about when you want it, and you don't want to wait for it, that right there, my friend, is my problem with online ordering. I will gladly 100% purchase from a brick and mortar shop long before I consider going online, strictly because when I want something, damn it, I want it now. I want that instant gratification, that hit of dopamine when I take out my debit card and I give it to the lady and she rings me up for whatever it is I'm purchasing. If I decide that I want something or need something, then I want it or need it at that moment. I'm not thinking 2 weeks down the road, like, what I think I'm gonna want 2 weeks from now is a Perdomo champagne. I'm not thinking that far down the road. I'm thinking, what do I feel like today? And if I have it, great. If I don't have it, by God, I am going to a store that I know carries it, and I'm going to walk out of there with it. I am not, for the most part, ordering online. Now, it's funny that I say that, considering I just placed an order today with twoguyscigars.com. I did that because, quite frankly, budget does come into play, and the boxes that I purchased from Two Guys they were affordable. Also, though, to that extent, I will say I value relationship, and this is something that I have always done with my newspaper, and I've carried it over into the podcast, which is if you support me, I support you, and I am one of those guys that I'm gonna do my best to do business with those people who are doing business with me. Two Guys Cigars now in its second year as a sponsor of the Cigar Pulpit. You damn well better believe I'm gonna look to them for some cigar purchases. Is it feasible to order everything from Two Guys? Dave would probably tell me yes, but that instant gratification dopamine hit I was just talking about would tell you no. So some purchases I make locally. Some purchases, though, I do there. Now, Dave even says flat out on the Cigar Authority, if you don't have a brick and mortar nearby that carries it, visit twoguyscigars.com. Well, in some cases, I do have brick and mortars nearby that carry it, and so I do, go to them. If I don't, I will visit twoguyscigars.com. Look, that's how I got the Perdomo Legacies that I've got chilling in my humidor right now. Is nobody locally carried those, so I had to go to the source. But that's okay. It is what it is. But to your point, yeah, you know what? When I want something, I want it. I want it right then and there. And that's my fear with the Henry Clay Warhawk Rebellious is I'm down to a handful of those damn things. And I did not snap those up when they were available at the time. And I need to figure out a way to get my hands on some because I need to replenish that supply. So anyway, dude, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. I'm going to move on to this next call, and I'm going to relight my cigar. And this next call left a voicemail that was totally blank. So, okay. We will move on to the next call here.
Good morning. This is Susan from Dr. Lipshitz's office. I'm calling because your blood work came back, and it's showing as 20% KFC gravy. So we need to slow down on that a little. I also wanted to let you know that your extra small condoms and your anal wart cream will be at the pharmacy for pickup. If you have any questions, you can give Dr. Boudry a call. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Sean. All right, Sean. That was good. First of all, I don't like brown gravy. Believe it or not, you look at me, you say, that dude, he likes brown gravy. I do not like brown gravy. I do not like KFC gravy. If I'm going to do gravy, I'm going to do the white, milk gravy used in biscuits and gravy. However, I do not care for brown gravy. So, no, my blood is not 20% KFC gravy. And actually, with that point, I can't even tell you the last time I've been to a KFC. It's just not one of those places that's in my regular rotation. Now it's definitely not in my regular rotation, but it was not in my regular rotation prior. But by God, not to get too personal, but I definitely don't need extra small condoms, and the anal wart cream, those cleared up a long time ago, Sean. Anyway, enough. All right. God, you people with your creative phone calls, I'll give you credit. That was good, and it even sounded like you had a female do that and everything. So, that was good. That was good, Sean. So, moving on. Next call. Oh, look, another blank voicemail. Awesome. I thought I had multiple. I thought I had 7 calls, but in reality, I have 5 because I guess 2 of them must have been spam calls that didn't leave voicemails. Have you guys been getting hit with the spam calls really bad lately? They have been so freaking bad. And I don't know if it's Russia up in their warfare against us again or what's going on. But son of a bitch, I have been getting just bombarded with spam calls and spam texts and all kinds of shit. I mean, it was real quiet for a while. And now there's a bunch of them. And you know what really pisses me off is a lot of them are coming from area code 863, which area code 863 is also the area code for the Ask the Pulpit hotline. And so I'm thinking, great, wherever the Pulpit hotline is based out of, it was one of those second phone number app things, it's like pick a phone number. And I was like, fine, screw it. I'll pick this one. It's in Florida. I don't care. But the bottom line is, it's like people are calling, the spam calls are coming from that area code. I'm thinking, oh, wonderful. The Pulpit hotline is based in the hotbed of fucking spam call, central. So whatever. It's obnoxious, but I block them. Every time I get a spam call, I block the number, and they just call back the next day with 8 more different numbers. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know, how they're doing it. And Lily from the finance department calling me about my loan application. It's funny how she can call me from 6 different numbers in the same day. It's like, and from all over the country. So, they don't even bother having different voicemails. They just have the same freaking voicemail with all of these different spam calls. So it's embarrassing. Do better. If you're going to try and scam me, do better. All right. One more call on the hotline here. Maybe. Looks like it wants to load. Maybe. Oh, come on, dude. I swear, technology sometimes just absolutely just doesn't want to work. I can see it. It's spinning. It's spinning like it wants to play. It doesn't. It just doesn't want to. Doesn't want to start. Come on. Oh, this is great. Nothing like technological difficulty when you're doing it live.
What's up? Hey, this is Dakota.
What up,
I
Dakota?
didn't really plan this call out, so I might ramble a little bit.
You?
But a few things made me think of you and your podcast. So one, we're getting a lot of June beetles now down here in the Memphis area, and well, my son has a couple of toads that we found since we don't live in the woods anymore. You know, he kind of keeps. We have these 2 toads that he now keeps and he feeds with the crickets that he finds in the yard.
Cool.
Well, we found out that June beetles are major, like, parts of the diet of the American and the Fowler's toad here. So, you know, guess what? We're feeding some June beetles to the frogs. So hopefully that makes it feel
good. Kill
something.
the June bugs.
Also, I noticed that. Oh wait, no. Let's go to this. What is it? La Gloria Cubana? Oh my gosh, I might have messed that up.
Yeah.
I had my first one yesterday.
Yeah?
It was pretty good. It was very inexpensive.
Yep.
So I got somebody near me that sells those, so that's nice. I'm discovering new places and new cigars in the place that I live, so, you know, that's always a fun thing to do.
That is fun.
And also, I noticed we don't have a pinky fun fact. So I'm coming in hard.
Excellent.
With a good-natured fun fact.
Excellent.
In fact, it sounds like it would be a pinky fun fact, except it wouldn't be one of the disturbing ones. Dolphins have names for one another. So they create, like, mothers and calves and male bonded pairs will create special whistles that, you know, refer to each other. Now, it's not the exact same as people, right? You have the name of Nick, and everybody will call you Nick unless they have a nickname for you. Well, each name that a bonded pair comes, or each time a bonded pair comes up with a name, the name changes based off of who you're bonded to, right? So one dolphin will call another dolphin Steve, and then a different dolphin that Steve is friendly with will call him, I don't know, Brandon. So it works a little differently with dolphins, but they got names, man.
It's like pet names.
They got names.
I'll be damned. So dolphins give each other pet names. That's really kind of neat, actually. See, this is the kind of cool shit that you learn. You guys all learned something on the Cigar Pulpit. That makes you a parishioner. No, that's a good little fun fact there, Dakota. I appreciate that. Dolphin, you know, and I'll say, Dakota, you're coming down to PulpitFest. And the last time I was down there, I had breakfast at this awesome little Cuban place right there on Flagler Beach. And, you know, it was me and Ken and Trey Mack, and we're sitting there having breakfast, and we look out the window, and it's the restaurant, and it's the road, and it's the beach, and then it's the ocean. And we look out the window, and what do we see? But we see this pod of dolphins just playing out in the ocean, just having a good old time out there. So you might see some dolphins, and maybe you can stand on the beach and just yell Steve or Brandon and just see if one of them looks your way. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's a nice little fun fact. As for La Gloria Cubana, yes, good cigar. It's perfectly fine. You know, I like the fact that you're going around trying out different places, trying out different cigars. You know, that's what I did very early on, is that once I found what I liked and I smoked that consistently, but I was always open to walking around the humidor, seeing something that caught my eye, and giving it a shot. Now, what made it catch my eye? I don't know. Maybe the band looked good. Maybe the price was good. Maybe, you know, just, I don't know, something about it. Maybe the color scheme, you know, appealed to my senses that day. It just happens. But I love the fact that you're experimenting around and trying different stuff, because that's how you discover what you like and what you don't like. And, you know, that's fun. Now, you're going to get all kinds of exposure to some great cigars down at PulpitFest. There's going to be some really, really good stuff in your goodie bag. And for those of you who haven't purchased your PulpitFest tickets, there are still general admission tickets available over there at Eventbrite. Search for PulpitFest 2025 and get in on the fun. It's PulpitFest, brought to you by Villiger Cigars. And so it's at the Ashenale Lounge in Palm Coast, Florida, August 22nd through the 24th. It's going to be a fun time, guys. You're going to have You're going to have folks from Villiger there. You're going to have folks from Aladino, including Justo Aroa. He's going to be there. Trey Mack will be there. You'll have Dave Garofalo and Ed Sullivan from the Cigar Authority. They're going to be there. It's going to be a good party. It's going to be a fun time. You're not going to want to miss it. My dad will be there. For those of you who enjoyed his episode last episode, he'll be there. He and Ed Sullivan are talking about having the curmudgeon corner. So you guys can if you're a curmudgeon, you can join in the curmudgeon corner and talk about all the things wrong with the world. So you got that going for you too. But no, it's going to be a fun time, and you're going to want to get in on it. And again, a portion of your ticket proceeds will go towards a donation to Vincent's Clubhouse, which is a local organization that supports autistic kids with their education and support in Flagler County, Florida. Special place in my heart. My son is autistic, and so it was one of those things where when we were looking for an organization to make a donation to, that was a really good option, and we opted to do that. And so I think it will be a wonderful time, and you're not going to want to miss it. So sorry to hijack your call there and turn it into a PulpitFest commercial there, Dakota, but I appreciate it, and I know that you're coming. So there we go. Anyway, well, with that, we will close out this edition of Ask the Pulpit. Thought I had 2 more calls, but they were spam calls, I guess. So there's that. But you can get your calls in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. All right. Well, I am smoking the Cactus Wren from Blackbird Cigars. I am probably, I'd say, about done with the first third, entering into the second third. And it's got a little bit of light spice to it. The cocoa kind of flavoring from the initial cold draw has kind of dissipated. It's pretty much gone. I know the other flavor note that was written out on the site that I found the information about this said espresso. I haven't really gotten espresso yet. I would just say that it's kind of been a little bit of a slightly spicy tobacco kind of thing going on. But it's been very, very smooth. Draw on it has been amazing. Burn line, despite the fact that I've been talking and everything like that, is relatively tight. I can't say anything bad about it. It's a very, very good cigar so far. So I would smoke this again. I would smoke this again. Now, given the fact that it was a short run, I did find it at the Hill just kind of randomly. I don't know if its time has come and gone, and at this point, if it's going to be difficult for you guys to try and track one down. Maybe that's unfair of me to be smoking this, but it was one from Blackbird that I hadn't tried, and I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and try it on the show. All right. Well, now that we have done that, let's go ahead and jump into this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Damn, it is hot out here. Okay, so in terms of what I've been watching lately, I will freely admit it has been a busy week between work and my son and prepping for the roofers to arrive. They're going to arrive at fucking 6 a.m. tomorrow to start working on my roof, which, granted, that makes a lot of sense given the fact that it's going to be so balls hot out tomorrow. I'm sure they want to knock it out as quick as possible. But son of a bitch, that means I got to be up early too. And there's no way I'm going to be sleeping through the noise of them working on the roof. So I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it. But son of a bitch, it is what it is. But to the Villiger Entertainment Report, I I've continued watching that show Stick on Apple TV. The newest episode just dropped, and it does feel like the season is kind of, we're 6 episodes in. I don't know how many episodes are going to be in this season. I'm kind of assuming it's going to follow like some of these other shows and be like anywhere between 8 and 10, which if that's the case, I can feel like we've come to a pretty dramatic point in the show. And I don't want to talk about it because it's, I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but I do feel like we're probably approaching like a climax point here soon, which would imply to me that maybe we're like 8 episodes in, or 8 episodes total, and we're 6 in. But it's been good. It's I was talking about it with somebody today, and I, again, likened it to Ted Lasso, but I said it's different than Ted Lasso in that it's a little bit more, I say gritty, but it's not like gritty as in like adult or whatever. It's more that like, unlike with Ted Lasso, where you had a collection of people that all seemed generally pretty happy, they had their shit going on, but like they generally were pretty, happy-go-lucky a lot of the time. This show, it feels like these people have some trauma that they're all working through. And what it's been an interesting look at 5 people who, through circumstance, are forced together and are almost becoming like a makeshift family. And they're all in a roundabout way helping each other work through their individual traumas, but not in a like direct way, but in a like, oh, I'm doing this and that's helping that guy, but that guy's doing this, it's helping me. And so they're all kind of helping each other out indirectly. And it's been a fun show. I have enjoyed it. It's been nice. I like Owen Wilson, so that's helped a lot. And no, it's been an entertaining show. So Stick on Apple TV is one that's gotten my recommendation. What else have I watched lately? I watched another episode of Dark Side of the Ring, talking about Vince McMahon expanding his territory outside of the W, at the time, the Triple WF, or maybe it was just the WWF by that point. I don't know, whatever. But when he started expanding out and taking over territories and building his little empire that, we all know how that ultimately ended out for him. But, yeah, so back in the early 80s. And that was an interesting episode. So, otherwise, I haven't really watched a lot. I do want to give a shout out, and I'm not kissing ass here. I want to give a shout out to the Cigar Authority for their episode this past Saturday with Eric Newman. It's no secret that I listen and enjoy that podcast. But they had Eric on, and basically Eric came prepared with a variety of topics, and he gave Dave something like 31 questions that he could ask that would, lead to different stories and anecdotes and philosophies and things like that. And it was just absolutely compelling and fascinating. That episode and then the subsequent 40-minute after show, twice the normal length, filled out my drive today with doing my deliveries, and it was nice. It was good. You learned some stuff. Eric was very open about some stuff. Like, he talked about mistakes that he made during his time in the cigar industry, and I thought that was compelling. But it was good. It was entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. So I do want to give a shout out to that episode. So if you've never listened to the Cigar Authority, give that one a shot. If you're interested in JC Newman as a company, and you're interested in kind of what makes the leadership of that company tick, check out the Cigar Authority episode from this past Saturday, because Eric Newman was a hell of a guest, and he brought it. So good job there. So anyway, moving on to the next segment here. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars. Can't clip our wings. Okay. So, speaking of Blackbird cigars, this thing is just a little smokestack. For those of you who are watching on the YouTubes or the Rumbles, I mean, you're seeing this thing is kicking off a ton of smoke. The Cactus Wren by Blackbird Cigars. By the way, there's something I learned from the Cigar Authority this past Saturday, which, it's like, you like to, Eric talked about how you like to have a little nugget that you take away from each show, that, it's something interesting or fascinating. And they talked about how they frequently mention the cigar that they're smoking so that people who are listening to the podcast, not necessarily watching, but the people who are listening to the podcast can be reminded as to what they're smoking when they talk about the cigar. And it dawned on me, I don't know, maybe I do it and I'm not aware that I'm doing it, but like I don't know if I've consciously made an effort to mention the name of the cigar when I do the little, let's talk about the cigar for a quick second. And so I'm going to try to be better about actually giving the name of the cigar. So there we go. But anyway, Jalen Arnold from Lakeland, Florida, was born in 2000. In the year 2000. I can't hit the high note with that. But and he faced some serious challenges early in life. He was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, Asperger's syndrome, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Because of his tics and unique behavior, Jalen was relentlessly bullied at school starting at a young age. But instead of retreating, Jalen decided to fight back, but not with anger, but with education and empathy. At just 8 years old, he launched Jalen's Challenge, an anti-bullying campaign with the motto, "Bullying No Way." His goal was simple: teach other kids to be more understanding and help end bullying by increasing awareness about neurological differences. He began speaking at schools and events, sharing his own experiences, and helping other children recognize the damage that bullying can cause. He quickly became a sought-after speaker, traveling across the United States to promote kindness and acceptance. His campaign has since reached over 100,000 students. He's been recognized nationally, including receiving a Peace First Prize and even being featured in the Ellen DeGeneres Show and CNN Heroes. Jalen showed that you don't have to wait until you're a grown-up to make a difference. You just have to care enough to start. So be like Jalen Arnold and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. I like that. I like that story. So, it's nice. So we will now. I guess that's what we'll do. We'll do that. So, I guess now's the point in time when I talk about myself on socials. I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I am available on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun there. Just find the group, request access. Please answer the questions. I do have a couple of short questions there. Your answers don't really necessarily matter. I mean, it would be nice if some of the questions were answered positively. But I'd like to see some answers. For those people who join and don't answer the questions, I always wonder, okay, is this like a spam bot or what is this? So it would be nice if you answered the questions. I'm on Twitter/X. Like I said, if you want to watch the show, I am available on YouTube and Rumble. Also, if you use Spotify to listen to the podcast, you can watch the podcast there with Spotify video. Otherwise, I need your calls. I burned through the supply that I had. So I need your calls. Give the hotline a call at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. As you heard today, it can be questions. It can be comments about previous shows. It can be comments about things you have going on in life, like Dennis calling us from Iceland. It can be questions about me. It can be questions about the show. It can be questions about life. You could call for love advice if you'd like. You could call, I don't know, you could ask me. It's Ask the Pulpit. You can literally ask or call about anything you want. So just call, interact. I want to interact with you. I want to. So, Otherwise, once again, just to beat that drum just a little bit further, PulpitFest 2025 is coming up on August 22nd through the 24th in Palm Coast, Florida. It's a wonderful area. You're going to love it, and it's going to be a wonderful party. It's going to be a great time. You're going to get so many cigars. You're going to get, if you're doing the general admission ticket, which that's the only one available at this point, it's a $35 ticket, but you're getting $30 of it back as in-store credit at the Ash and Ale Lounge, where we're having this. And so it's one of those things where in reality, you're paying like $5 plus some taxes and fees to Eventbrite. So realistically, it's not all that expensive to go. Your return on investment is going to be great. And you're going to have a wonderful time down there in a really nice part of Florida that I don't think people visit quite as often as they should. Everybody kind of hits up Orlando and, Tampa and Miami and then over to the Panhandle and the Redneck Riviera. But, that section, that East Coast section of Florida with St. Augustine and Palm Coast there, it's gorgeous, and there are so many wonderful restaurants and cool things to see. You're not going to regret the trip. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful trip, and you're going to have a good time. So head on down to Pulpit Fest 2025. Come on down. Meet, Renee and Hector from Villiger, Justo and Trey Mack from Aladino, and Dave Groffalo and Ed Sullivan from the Cigar Authority. So it's going to be a good time. All right, guys. Well, trying to get this thing going again. Final thought on what I have smoked, at least, of the Cactus Wren from Blackbird Cigars. I like it. I would totally smoke this again. I do have one more in the house, but it was tasty. It's good. I do wish that I would hope that maybe it was good enough that Jonas and the fine folks over at Blackbird consider doing another run at the very least, or maybe even making it a regular thing. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I dug it. I thought it was a really good cigar. So I may end up back over at the Hill before this week is out, purchasing all the rest of them that they had in the box. I think they had maybe 3 or 4 more left in the box over there. So I may go over and clean them out just so that I have them. But going back to that, I want it when I want it kind of thing. Anyway, I dig it. So, guys, thank you so much for everything. I appreciate the interaction and communication. It makes these solo efforts easy. By the way, I have not forgotten the contest. And I'm going to keep running that for a little while longer. So, real quick, contest update. I asked, I believe a week ago, to give me solo show ideas. Ideas for shows that I can do when I'm by myself and I don't have a guest. You guys have, some people have commented on Facebook. Some people, I've gotten a couple of emails. But, if you would, drop me an email. It's Nick, N-I-C-K, at cigarpulpit.com. Shoot me an email. Tell me your solo show ideas. And whoever gives me what I consider to be the best idea, granted, I'm sure I'm going to get a number of really good ideas, but the one that, just rings my bell and tells me, yeah, that's a good damn idea. That's an easy one I can do and blah, blah, blah and all that. Do that, and whoever wins gets a nice care package from me. So when you email me, make sure you include your name and mailing address so that I don't have to reach out to you later and be like, hey, what's your mailing address? I need to send you stuff. Just send me the name and mailing address, and we'll go from there. But anyway, I appreciate it. As always, guys, take it easy this weekend, and I will talk to you next time. Guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. Hang on. I'm Nick. Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. Later, guys.